I don't know anything about the gym business, so I'll just email a bunch of gym owners and see if they'll just like let me work for free. And one guy got back to me. I emailed like 40 gyms, and he was like, yeah, come on out. You can work for free. So I was like, all right, awesome. So I left I like sold my condo, sold all my stuff, packed my car, and I drove straight to California from Baltimore, which is where I was. Showed up at this guy's doorstep, and he was like, this is really creepy. I was not really actually expecting you to do this. I was like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I have stuff to do. You can hang out here for a little bit. And he's like, where are you staying? And I was like, I don't know. I just got here. I just drove to your gym from my house in Baltimore. And he was like, so you have nowhere to stay? And I was like, no, I figured out later.
Wait, where was this located?
In California.
So you drove from Baltimore to California?
Yeah, it was 36 hours. I packed food.
But you didn't do it. You slept though, right? Like you didn't do it.
Yeah, I slept, but I didn't stop for food or
asking the important questions.
I'm amazed. 36 hours, and he was surprised you even did it.
Yeah.
You didn't call him while you were driving, like on the way, like, hey man, just letting you know, I'm on the way.
I mean, we talked once, and I was like, all right, I'll be there. And then, I mean, I'm sure people say that kind of stuff all the time.
You would think that like, hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there at like this time.
I didn't even have his phone number.
What?
I think I just
you just showed up at his house?
I showed up at his gym.
Wait,
at his gym.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have his number, how did you correspond?
So we email. So I opted in, and then he emailed me, and then we did have a call, but I don't think it was his cell phone, because I think there was like a business phone. It was like however many years ago. Mm-hmm. So anyways,
what did your parents think of that, by the way? Your parents were probably telling you, do not do this.
Wildly against all of this.
Yeah.
Like,
because they wanted you to go into something more like academic.
They were like, just they're like, you aced the GMAT. Yeah. Like, you can get into business school, and then you can go continue on the path, you know? And I mean, basically what I figured out was that the amount of money that I wanted to make, no job would pay me, with the exception of investment banking and management consulting. So you can make 5, 10, 20 million a year as an investment banker, or in private equity, or as a management consultant. Like, you can do that. But the path to getting there, the traditional way, you pretty much give 20 years, and then you start making that. And I was like, well, I don't want to give up my youth to have money later that I won't have like the youth or energy to spend. So that was kind of the thought process, was like, I'm guaranteed to not get what I want this way, and I have a chance of getting what I want this way. So I decided to go that way. And that was it was like the risk adjusted return was, I have 100% guarantee that I'm not going to get what I want here, even though like people will think it's good. Which is kind of an interesting side note, is that like every one of the big advancements that I've had in my life, and I've like marked all of them, like I added a 0 to my income, like per month. And each time it was by giving up something that everyone else told me was really good to have something that was better. But it's like the one that you have, and giving it up for something that you do not know exists yet, but you believe can exist. And I think that's the hardest like jump in life, like those jumps. It's like, I had a really good job, and I was going to start a business. It's like, but you have this thing that everybody will give you status for, but I want to do this. And then like, I scaled that up to 6 locations, you know, fast forward 3 years, and
wait, let's hear more about you're skipping too much. Okay. No, you show up at this guy's gym and it's weird. Yeah. Then what happens?
Yeah. So he was actually really cool about it. And I always remember this. He actually just died last year from COVID, but
no way.
Yeah, it was really sad for a lot of reasons, because he was also like incredibly jacked. He's Persian like me, like really into the business scene, was a pretty big influencer. So there's a lot of like similarities, and he had like a sort of father-son dynamic, you know what I mean? And so anyways, he was like, well, dude, if you don't have anywhere to stay, you can stay at my place tonight. And I was like, oh, thanks. And so I went to his place, and I stayed there for that night, and his like wife made me food or whatever. And I was like, this is nice. Like, California's great. And then the next morning I went to the gym with him, and then he just like literally just asked everyone at the gym, he's like, anyone have an extra room? And one guy was like, you can stay at my place. And so he had an extra room. I paid him like $400 a month. And that was how I like started living. I worked at that gym for 3 months.
So what were you doing at the gym though?
So he said, you can be my apprentice. And so, I mean, I think he recognized that I was like relatively intelligent and hardworking. And so he was like, just learn everything that I do so that I don't have to do it and you can do it. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, and so like I was with him from 4 a.m. until 4 p.m. every day. So like my early mornings kind of started with him, because he was like, be at the gym at 4. And I was like, okay, got it. You know, because in the consulting world, I was at the office at 10. So it was like, a big difference. And so we would work out from 4 to 5, and then we would start working at 5. And so that was, and then he was like, man, everybody always says that like, you can't like work really hard. Like you have to trade off. He's like, they're just not willing to wake up early. He's like, I see my kids at 4 or 5 o'clock every day. He's like, I just wake up before they're up.